Welcome to Date Night with Michelle and Doug. We are wearing our onesies.
Oh yeah.
That can only mean one thing. It's breakfast for dinner tonight. Yeah, right? So we are going to make a fancy schmancy breakfast. It's not just going to be cereal tonight, but we're actually going to make an eggs Florentine. Eggs Florentine is typically an English muffin topped with spinach, topped with a poached egg and hollandaise sauce. So we're going to do things a little differently. So on the menu tonight is the eggs Florentine, but instead of an English muffin, we're going to use a sweet potato hash base. We're going to keep the sautéed spinach, put that on top, but we're actually going to make deviled eggs. And we're going to top our deviled eggs with bacon and chives. So a little bit of a twist, but still holding on to some of the roots, right?
Yeah.
So then babe, what's actually good about this dish?
There's a lot of good health benefits about this dish. So we're not using the English muffin base, but we're using sweet potatoes. And sweet potatoes are a great source of fiber, like we have said in previous videos. Fiber helps keep you regular. Make sure you're moving your bowels. It's a great source of vitamin A as well, which is healthy for your eyesight. We're also using spinach, and we used spinach in our very first video. We talked about vitamin K in the video, which helps with blood clotting. This time we're going to talk about calcium. You know that calcium is good for our strong bones and teeth, but also for muscle contraction. So it's really important for that as well. And finally, in our deviled egg mixture, instead of using mayo, we're going to use Greek yogurt. I'm a huge fan of Greek yogurt. Now they have Icelandic yogurt out there, and they're just great sources of protein, right? We're using low-fat Greek yogurt, a high source of protein. So it's going to give a distinctive sour flavor as well to the deviled egg. And then of course we have the chives and turkey bacon, leaner type of bacon. Now we're going to add on top. And that's what's good about this dish.
Awesome, let's get cooking.
Let's go. Let's start off with boiling our eggs by filling our pot a little bit over halfway with water. Once we have that set, we're gonna lay it on high heat and we're gonna have that boil. While the water is boiling, we're gonna take our sweet potatoes and we're going to peel them just to prep them for the shredding process. Now our water is boiling and we're ready to put in our eggs. So gently place in your eggs so that they don't crack. While our eggs are cooking, we're gonna take our waffle maker and we're gonna turn that on. And while the waffle maker heats up, we're gonna start shredding our sweet potato. Now that our sweet potato is shredded, we're actually gonna put it in a paper towel and squeeze it as hard as we can to take out the moisture. That helps that it comes out nice and crispy. And once we squeezed out the moisture from all of our sweet potato, we're gonna add our seasonings. We're gonna add some salt and pepper, and don't be afraid to use your fingers to just mix everything around.
Let's spray down our griddle so our sweet potatoes do not stick. And then we're gonna get them on. So we're gonna make sure that we get the sweet potatoes to really cover all edges of the griddle. Now, if you don't have a waffle maker, you can also line and shape your sweet potatoes into little squares and line them on a baking sheet. You can put those in the oven at about 400 degrees and cook those for about 10 minutes or until golden brown. And then we'll close and seal that for about 10 to 15 minutes or until they come out golden brown. We've taken out our eggs after about 7 minutes and we're gonna run them under cold water after draining out all the liquid. And we're gonna let that hang out for a while to cool down. Let's get our turkey bacon chopped up. So we're gonna dice that and we're gonna throw it in the pan over medium heat. We're gonna mix that up until it gets all crispy. Once our bacon is cooked, we've taken that out. And right on that same pan, we're gonna add our spinach and saute it in that juicy bacon oil. Yum. And that's gonna soak up all the flavors that's left over by the bacon.
Let's peel our eggs. So I'm gonna take one and tap it gently on the side of the sink. and then start peeling off the outer shell. You want to be really careful to make sure you don't grab chunks of the egg whites so that your egg looks uniform and it's whole.
Now let's get to making these deviled eggs. So we're gonna take an egg, slice it in half, and then we're gonna scoop out the yolks from the eggs and place them in the mixing bowl. So we're gonna do that with all of our eggs. And once we do, we're gonna add our Greek yogurt, Dijon mustard, paprika, and whisk until it's completely smooth. Now Michelle and I don't have a fancy piping instrument, and you might not either, so here's a quick hack. You can actually take a Ziploc bag and cut out a corner, and then you can fill that in with your filling, and we're gonna use that to pipe our deviled eggs.
Now that we have our cool piping device, we're gonna squeeze our mixture back into our egg. And feel free to just maneuver it as much as you can and try to fill it pretty much to your liking. We are hungry and we're ready to plate. So we have our sweet potato hash brown down first. We're gonna add in our sautéed spinach and then place our deviled egg on top. Now our turkey bacon we're gonna stuff inside the egg as well. If you want more for the rest of your dish, you can add more around the plate. And then finally, because we fancy, we're gonna add some chopped chives. All right, we're ready for our breakfast for dinner. This is honestly my favorite meal of the day. So I can eat breakfast for breakfast, lunch, for dinner, for snack, brunch, whatever you want.
And it has bacon.
And it has turkey bacon. So it's gonna give a nice crispiness to it. So let's go in. I'm going for the egg first. Oh, you do?
I am going for the egg first. You're using a knife.
I am. Are you civilized?
Time for that.
Can't get mine off. Good job, babe.
That is so good. Whoa. Okay. So I love that we have bacon in here. Because bacon, it's salty, it's crispy, and it plays out really well with the smooth filling of the egg, right? So like we have the egg, it's a little sour because you have the Greek yogurt in there, but then you have Dijon mustard, so there's a nice heat to it kind of in the background.
There's definitely that kick. So while he was speaking, I took up the sweet potato. That sweet potato helps balance out the salt and that spiciness. It's absolutely delicious. So I'm just gonna keep going.
Wow. This might be like my favorite breakfast ever.
That means you have to try it at home.
You do have to try this at home. Oh my god.
We're fans of breakfast for dinner. Do it. If you're not a believer in breakfast, you might start being a believer. Thank you so much for joining us with Day Night with Michelle and Doug. We hope to see you in our kitchen next week.
See you next week.